Do you like dinosaurs? Are you excited to go see the new Jurassic World movie? Let's read about dinosaurs today. How Big Were Dinosaurs by Lita Judge, a Roaring Brook Press book. Stalking, running, stomping, crushing. When we think of dinosaurs, we think of huge monsters. But how big were dinosaurs really? Microraptor was a deadly hunter, but he would barely be able to look a modern-day chicken in the eye. The truth is, dinosaurs came in all shapes and sizes. Protoceratops had very large skulls and heavy beaks for ripping tough plants. They were strong and built for defense, but no bigger than a baby rhinoceros. And honestly, with a name like Ankylosaurus, you think these dinosaurs were tree-eating giants, but they stood only 2 feet tall. They lived through the cold, dark winter near the South Pole, where emperor penguins live today. Even Velociraptor, a dinosaur that fills our imagination with its flesh-ripping claws and powerful jaws, was only the size of a dog. Do you have a dog? Struthiomimus were the perfect size for going to the races. With slender legs and long tails, they were built like a very light horse and ran just as fast, up to 35 miles an hour. Ankylosaurus was a little taller than an SUV but weighed 4 times as much, built to withstand attack. They were covered in armored plates and sharp spikes, and they had a great bony club for a tail. Imagine being stuck in a traffic jam with a cranky Ankylosaurus. Stegosaurus weighed as much as 3 cows, but with bony plates on his back that could be up to 3 feet long, he looked much bigger. Bigger isn't always smarter. This giant plant eater only had a brain the size of a walnut. Can you imagine that? Like a giant unicorn, Tyrannosaurus had a strange spike growing out of its skull. We don't know what this spike was used for, but with a dinosaur-sized appetite and hundreds of teeth, he could have gobbled your garden in a few quick bites. Torosaurus had a 10-foot skull and horns that grew as tall as a first grader. Are you in first grade? You wouldn't want to make this dinosaur do something he didn't want to do. Therizinosaurus had claws that grew up to 36 inches, longer than a man's arm. But don't worry, these plant eaters mostly likely use their claws to strip bark off trees and pull down branches. Wow. Tyrannosaurus rex had a skull nearly as long as a man is tall. He had strong jaw muscles that could crunch down with 10 times the force of an alligator bite. Imagine cleaning the 9-inch long teeth of this fearsome meat eater. Yikes. But even the fierce Tyrannosaurus rex was no match for the biggest, most enormous, colossal giant of them all. Argentinosaurus, as long as 4 school buses. Do you ride the school bus? Could you imagine? This dinosaur was probably the biggest animal ever to walk on land. A full-grown adult weighed more than a herd of 17 elephants. And Argentinosaurus was an incredible 45,000 times bigger than Microraptor. But the largest dinosaur was only dangerous if you were a tree. Argentinosaurus must have eaten them by the ton. Dinosaurs really did come in every size, as small as birds or bigger than herds, and everything in between. take a look at the last couple of pages on how do we know how big dinosaurs were, and then compare the size of each dinosaur, and you will be so amazed. I hope you enjoyed this book and that you get a chance to maybe go see the movie of the Jurassic World, and maybe even go to a museum where there could be dinosaurs to explore. Goodbye.